In this part of the lesson we're going to take a look at our signet rings. So JCD Lite has a signet ring template within our Jewelry Counter Design Studio. Okay, so we can navigate into this. Okay, here is our signet ring. If we left click on here, it will create our signet ring in a new file. Okay, we can then choose to save this, save it as our own file. Okay, so here's our signet ring, and we have the full history. Again, this is brought in as a complete design. It is not a component, like many of our other commands will bring in our tools as components. Okay, so this is the full design, pre-made signet ring, and we can customize it. Okay, so we could step through the history and make some customizations. Okay, we have a few driving parameters in our attributes panel that we can modify our signet ring with. Okay, we are also able to, if we come into our design sketches and ring tab, we can change the ring top, our signet ring top, by coming into the ring top profiles command. If we left click on here, we have a carousel of all of these different ring tops. Okay, if we simply left click on a ring top that we like, confirm the operation, it's going to automatically replace our ring top and update the signet ring accordingly. Ring top profiles. Okay, actually whilst I'm here I will show you our eternity ring profiles command, and that is for use with our eternity ring, this eternity band. If we left click on here, it's going to bring up the eternity band file, same way as with our signet ring. This is a design, this is not a component. We can then use our design sketches ring, eternity ring profiles command to pick the profile that we want. Okay, so we're currently set to this one. We can modify our profile. So this is quite a neat tool, and then we can finish off this eternity band. We could leave this as a channel setting, bring in some cutters or bring in some beads and prongs to set the stones. Okay, so that's the eternity band, just on a side note. Back to the signet ring. Okay, so we know how to change the signet ring top. Let's take a look at some of our attributes. Okay, by default our ring size is 15mm in diameter. Okay, this is pretty small, just over a size 4. Let's increase this now to 20.5, size 11, US 11. Again, let's make a few more modifications here. In fact, I'll increase the size of my ring top profile first. To do this, we come into the ring top profile sketch, which is this one here, within our history. Okay, double click to enter into that sketch. Okay, I'm going to scale this on the base point, step size, let's say 0.1. Let's scale this uniformly. Okay, 1.5. Now within this ring top sketch we can create any shape that we want for our ring top and any size that we want. The only thing that we need to do to make sure that our history remains linked up is to make our sketch have two halves like this. So we need two curves to our sketch. Okay, we'll see an example of this later on when we do change our ring top sketch to a different custom shape. Okay, so now we can exit back out into our part level. We see our larger scaled up ring top. Update within the history. Let's come into our attributes panel, driving parameters. Let's play around with some of these. Our side arc radius, this is this radius here. Remember, if you're not entirely sure what some of the commands do, or you can't see the effect they're having, just step through the history and locate where that variable is within history, and you'll be able to see what it is doing. Okay, so in this case the side arc radius is this arc here. If we drop it down, it's going to be a more abrupt arc. Okay, we're going to have more curvature. I'm going to shoot it right up to 250 to have straighter sides here. Our shank spread, that's the spread of these shanks. Okay, we have a side width. Increasing the side width there, the side thickness, that's the thickness of our shank. And of course our ring size again. Okay, so I'm going to confirm it there. Okay, so this is our pre-made Signet ring in JCD Light. Now we can come in, add some designs, emboss or inlay them, do it to the side, whatever we like. I often like to come in with the shell command and shell, keeping this face open, shell my Signet ring to reduce down the metal, reduce the metal weight. Okay, then we can come in, say with a sketch. I'll insert a sketch on this top face, use centroid defined by plane. Confirm the operation. I'm going to right click, reference, my ring top. Okay, they came in as red, so we won't be able to see them. Let's show target. There we go. Now I'm going to bring in an image. Okay, I'm going to use this eagle image. Okay. I'm going to use this center defining method. Place it anywhere. I'm going to come in, middle click, come into my width and height. Okay, I don't want to lock the aspect ratio. The width, I'm going to bring it down so it fits in here nicely, and the height, something like that. Now I can reposition by coming into my first point again. Middle click. Okay, I'm going to have to redefine the width and height again, 15 by 18. Enter. Okay, confirm the operation. Now what I'm doing with this image, I want to inlay or maybe emboss it on my Signet ring. Okay, so one strategy to do this is with our point curve. We come in with the point curve and trace around our image. Okay, and then we can exit back out into our part level and inlay that. So let's do that. Prior to doing this, however, I'm going to turn off my smart picking. Okay, just so we don't get any auto constraints thrown in that could affect our drawing. We don't need the auto constraints in this case. So point curve. Let's start, say at the beak here, the end of the beak. And we're just going to trace our eagle. Okay, remembering that we can always come in and play around with the positioning of these control points at a later stage. Okay, so you don't need to get it spot on straight off, but it can help. The 3-point curve I find is a very useful command. I use it very frequently. Okay, you don't want to have too abrupt edges or too narrow of gaps, because this can be trouble when it comes to manufacture. And often we're dealing with sizes that are really quite insignificant. For example, the eye in the middle here, it's probably got a very small diameter, maybe 1/10 of a millimeter. Which is rather insignificant and can cause problems at the manufacturer level. Okay, so I'm not being perfect here. You can always come in and take a bit more time yourself. Okay, stop drawing. I'll just simply left click in our field to start picking points again. Okay, we create this curve closed. Okay, then you can come in and reposition a few points if you're not happy with the placement of some of them. But like I said, this is just an example now. I'm not trying to be spot on with this. Confirm the operation. Okay, we will come in and do this eye, maybe a bit bigger. Confirm the operation. Okay, we can right click on our image now, blank it out. Let's insert a bit of text as well. Ready sketch. Let's type in our text, say some initials. Let's set it to a font. Let's use a fancier type. The monotype, make it bold. Let's place it. Okay, we're gonna have to drop down our size. See if the 2. Okay, we can make it a bit bigger. 2.5 maybe. Drop in our text. Confirm. Let's exit back out into our part level. Okay, so here is our sketch that we're going to inlay. Save our work. Come into our shape tab, we have our inlay command here. Our inlay is also within our tools cutters and our design sketches ring tabs. We have the JCD inlay curves command. Same thing. Pick our face, pick our curves, pick it as a sketch. Okay, our direction is by default normal to the face we've picked, so in this case it will be Z. Okay, we can always define a direction, but if we leave this blank, our offset, if it's positive, be coming out and emboss, negative and inlay. Confirm the operation. Okay, it's not wanting to go. That means there's an issue with our sketch. Let's come back into our sketch. Okay, maybe we have an open curve or something. Okay, but we have this open ends display on and we can't see any open ends. Okay, so more likely than not we have some overlaps. Okay, and this will throw off. Okay, here we are. This is the problem. We have self-intersections here. Okay, I should have taken care when creating this point curve. Should have added in a few more control points, but we can do that now. Now modify. Okay, I'm just going to change the tangencies, directions, instead of adding in those control points. I'm just opening up the tight corners, which I should have done before. So like I said, the tight corners can be a bit troublesome, especially at manufacture. Okay, this looks alright now. Confirm the operation. We should be able to get an inlay now. Okay, let's also check out our lettering. Okay, we have self-intersections here. That means we're going to have to explode our lettering, right click, explode, to break it up into its individual parts. Let's just add in a blend here. Just to ensure that we do not have any self-intersections. Okay, maybe one up here as well. It seems fine, but we'll add in the blend anyway. Okay, so let's see if this solves our issues. Exit back up into our part level. Inlay curves. Pick the face again. Pick the sketch. Okay, well we have more of an emboss there. Okay, something's gone wrong here as well. Okay, this isn't performing correctly. What I suspect is happening here is a conflict with our shell. We're having issues because of our shell. Let me suppress this shell. Okay, and that did seem to correct the issue. This shell was throwing off our inlay there. Okay, so I'm going to delete that shell and we can add it in later on. Okay, so there is our inlay. Come in with my inquire distance. Okay, we've got to check that we have decent sizes here. Okay, they're getting pretty small. Maybe this eye is a bit small as well. Okay, it's not actually bad, but I think we would be better off with an emboss here. I'm going to come in and drag my model stop up prior to the sketch. Then I'm going to wireframe, offset, on face. I'm going to offset my edges on the face. Let's say a -1. So we're coming in 1mm there. Confirm the operation. Okay, now I'm going to inlay this curve. Shape, inlay, face, pick the curves. Okay, change our entity filter to curve. -0.5, confirm. Okay, now our sketch, if we play it, okay, it's going to be thrown off. We want to pick a new location. Okay, we'll pick it as this face down here. Up, we don't need to define it, it looks correct to me. Confirm the operation. Okay, so now our sketch is on this face at the bottom. Okay, we're going to emboss it. It's not going to emboss well here though, so let's quickly come into our sketch. In fact, I'm just going to reduce the amount that I inlaid. Not inlaid, sorry, the offset. If I reduce the offset, we should have enough room for our eagle there. Let's offset it negative 0.5, replay. Okay, we have enough room for our eagle there. Now we can, in fact I might not make it quite so small, narrow, negative 0.75. Okay, that's good. Edit the inlay. Okay, we need to repick the face, it's the bottom face, and our offset is going to be positive 0.5 for an emboss. Confirm. That looks good. Now we can add in bright cut. Okay, so here is our signet ring. We can add in designs on the sides as well. Let's just do that quickly. Let's say we'll come into our design sketches ring tab. We'll pick a pattern. Okay, just maybe this one. Place it on a datum. Okay, and then we're coming in with a wrap command. Our wrap on face. We use our first option based on the UV. Our sketch is our pattern. Our face, this face, we can position it how we want. Okay, let's just throw it in here. Gives ourselves a Y scale. Okay, we can take out some of these. I'm going to confirm the operation there. I'll delete some of these curves. Set my entity filter onto curve. I'm just going to hold down the shift key. Keep holding it down to bring them all into the selection. Okay, we'll get rid of some of these curves that we don't want. Okay, you can be more creative here. Erase, go in with your own sketches. I'm just doing this for speed. Okay, now we could mirror this across. Mirror. In fact, what I should have done, so if I come back in to our wrap, if I edit the wrap, change the line color to pink, confirm the operation, we have pink curves here, play the erase. Okay, seems to be a small bit of pink there. Okay, then I can come in with the mirror command. My entity filter set to curve, then come into my attributes filter, set the color to pink, include window pick, and I'm going to pick only the pink curves. Mirror across the side plane, shape, inlay, pick the face, pick the curves, use the same method. Say negative 0.3. Okay, there's another pattern. Like I said, you might want to be a bit more creative there. I'm just showing you the principles. Maybe we'll give a draft to this inlay. Okay, if you can get away with a draft, sometimes it won't always work, but if you can get away with it, I advise putting a draft in, especially for manufacturer. Okay, so that's just an example of the signet ring using inlays. Let me come back prior to all of these inlays and I'll show you a different tool that we have. Okay, another way we can perform an emboss or inlay is within our freeform ribbon tab. We have command emboss. Okay, it's under this drop down here. Emboss, where we can pick an image. So let's say the eagle again. Pick the face. Okay, we change our size. Okay, the resolution. I'll show you what this does in just a moment, but for now I'm going to drop it down to 0.05. Confirm. I shouldn't have left it at that 5 max offset. I'm going to redefine last. Negative 0.5. Right click, redefine last. Okay, it's not going to work because I left this embed image file ticked. Okay, so I need to exit out of this, undo the operation, come back into it, emboss, pick the image again, pick the face. I need to unselect this embed image file. Okay, make sure you do that, otherwise you may run into a few issues when trying to redefine the operation. The rest is okay, confirm. Okay, so here is a way again that we can emboss or inlay an image file. Okay, and it's not a bad result there. Okay, bear in mind that your image file, okay, it works best with an outline, a black and white photo. Okay, so a silhouette is always good. A black silhouette. Okay, this emboss tool creates the elevation, the relief based on the color of the image. Black giving the maximum, the 0.5, the maximum offset, and the white, the 0 offset. So I like to use a black and white image for this tool. Okay, I said I'd show you the resolution. If we drop our resolution, in this case increase it to say 1, we're going to get a much blurrier image. Okay, in this case it's barely done anything. Let's see a 0.1. Okay, it's quite blurry. If we drop it down to 0.05, okay, we get a bit more definition on the image. Let's try and make this larger as well. Okay, so it's not a bad tool there. You might want to play around with that. Okay, so that is our signet ring.